Welcome to my Card Suits Crochet mini series. In today's video we're going to be making the heart. For this tutorial you can use any weight of yarn you like and any colour, so I'm using pink aran yarn here. And then for your crochet hook, I like to use a 4mm crochet hook with aran weight yarn, but if you're not sure what size hook to use, just look at the recommendations on your yarn label. So what we're going to do for this heart is we're going to start off by doing a foundation chain, and this is all going to be worked in rows. So I'm going to start off by doing a chain of 2. And this starting tail here, you don't have to leave a particularly long tail, but don't make it too short either, because it will just be a pain to weave in at the end if you do that. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm simply going to single crochet into the second chain from hook, so this one here, and I am also going to crochet over the tail too. It just helps to secure it in place a little bit better, but it's not the end of the world if you don't want to do that. So that is row 1 complete. For row 2 I'm going to chain 1, turn, and then I'm going to do an increase in the single crochet that we just did. So that means just doing 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and you'll notice that we're going to be chain 1 and turning at the beginning of every row. And then what I'm going to do in row 3 is to do 2 increases. So this gets us up to 4 single crochets. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn, and then I'm going to do increase, two single crochets, increase, which gets us up to 6. Then for row 5 I'm going to chain 1, turn, and just work 6 single crochets across. Then for row 6, chain 1, turn, and do increase, 4 single crochets, increase, which gets you up to 8. Then for row 7, chain 1, chain 1, turn, and then just work 8 single crochets across. Then for row 8 we're going to chain 1, turn, increase, 6 single crochets, then another increase, which gets us up to 10 single crochets. Then for row 9, chain 1, turn, and single crochet across. Then row 10, chain 1, turn, increase, 8 single crochets, increase. Then row 11, chain 1, turn, and work 12 single crochets across. Okay, so that gets us our kind of bottom half of the heart. So now from row 12 onwards, we're going to be working the two sort of semicircles at the top of the heart, and we're going to do them in two separate goes. So we're going to start off by doing one side. Now we're going to do this side to start with. So for row 12, chain 1, turn, and then we're going to do 6 single crochets across. Then for row 13, we're going to do exactly the same thing. So chain 1, turn, 6 single crochets across. Row 14, chain 1, turn, decrease, 2 single crochets, decrease. Row 15, chain 1, turn, 2 decrease. Then finally row 16, chain 1, turn, decrease. So now cut your yarn, leaving just a very short tail again for weaving in afterwards. And then we just need to repeat all of that again on the other side. So we're going to reattach our yarn in the next available stitch after the row 12 that we did on this side, so that will be this one here. And then we're going to basically just repeat exactly what we did for rows 12 to 16 previously. So I'll do them all again just to remind you. So for row 12 we're going to do 6 single crochets across, and it is a good idea to crochet over that little tail at this point if you're able to. Then chain 1, turn, and for row 13 do the exact same thing again, just 6 single crochets across. Then chain 1, turn, decrease, 2 single crochets, decrease, then chain 1, turn, 2 decrease, then chain 1, turn, decrease. Then cut your yarn, but this time make sure to leave a long tail for sewing, assuming that you're going to be sewing this onto something afterwards. And then just pull your yarn tail through like this. So hopefully you've got a heart shape now, and all that's left to do is to weave in these two tails, and also to check for any other tails that we might need to weave in or snip. Firstly, you're going to want to determine what's going to be the front side of your heart. There's no right or wrong answer for this, so I think that this side looks the nicest out of these two, so this is going to be my front, but you can do whichever side you like the best. So when you've decided what your front is going to be, make sure that you flip over to the back side of your work, and then we can weave our tails in here because it won't be visible. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, if you've got any tails that you've already crocheted over, like this one, you can just snip those immediately, unless you want to do extra knots and things, but I don't tend to do that. Then I've got these two remaining tails you can see here, so I'm just going to knot these once, and you can do as many knots as you feel you need to do depending on what this is going to be used for. I feel that one is going to be sufficient for me, and then I like to just pull the yarn tail through another nearby stitch and then cut my yarn, leaving a little bit of the tail remaining, because obviously this is going to be at the back of the work so it won't be visible, so you might as well just leave it and not risk your work unraveling. So I'm just going to do the same thing at the bottom. It's a bit trickier here because the stitches are a little bit tighter, so I'm just going to try my best to pick a stitch that I can get into, and then do a knot, and then weave into a nearby stitch, and then cut. that is the ends all weaved in. So this is what the final heart looks like. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to learn how to make all of the other card suits, then I have videos for those in my mini series playlist, which will be somewhere on this screen or linked down below. But yeah, thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.